welcome to Game Day here with America Makes at Rapid Plus TCT 2023 here in Chicago. My name is Josh Cramer, Director of Educational Workforce Development here at America Makes. I have the pleasure of having Mr. Hunter Smith here with me. And Hunter is with the Navy the Navy's Intelligence Warfare Center Atlantic.
Yes.
Hunter is a tremendous asset to the Institute, has been a subject matter expert, a good friend of the Institute, friend of mine now for 3 years working together.
That's right.
In a number of capacities and those kind of things. Hunter, welcome. It's great to have you here on Game Day.
Yeah, Josh, thank you. As Josh mentioned, so I work for the Naval Information Warfare Center Atlantic, so located in Charleston, South Carolina. Big opportunity for us to continue to work with America Makes and support the initiatives that they have going on, and it's a relationship that we hope to continue going forward. And NIWC specifically, what we're doing with additive, it kind of varies. We're the information warfare kind of head for the Navy, and so everything from communication systems, communication suites, and kind of all the auxiliary technologies that go around with that. So we're able to use additive for a number of different applications, and like I said, being able to pass that information along and work with you guys is something that we really value.
Yeah, I mean, one of the key aspects of America Makes and our educational workforce development assets, you know, anchored in mission by industry and DoD voice, right? We want to make sure that we have the voice of the customer specifically, and making sure that the bodies of knowledge and the competencies and the credentials of those things really ring true to the real need and want out of those. And that's one of those critical roles that you play for us, right? And I mean, you've been involved from everything from middle school and high school assets to a great program funded out of the Navy Operations Group out of the Pentagon, and a civilian artisan training program out of Navy as well. I mean, you know, the value that we get out of that's pretty obvious, right? The value you get out of that. Can you talk a little bit about your engagement there?
Sure. So for us, specifically on the Navy side, we're always trying to find the next best solution and things that fight not only obsolescence, but give us information on new technologies as well. So partnering with America Makes and doing those training opportunities is not only ensuring that, you know, we kind of stay up to date with technology, but the people that we're bringing in also have that knowledge, that background. And the Navy is super big on trying to continue to provide those training opportunities. So any opportunity that we have to work with civilian groups, government groups to kind of build up that body of knowledge like you talked about is something that we're always interested in trying to do.
Yeah, and one of the things that we talk about is also trying to vary our approach, right? I mean, obviously at America Makes, you see a very consistent, yeah, we can do instructor-led training, you know, in person, sitting there for a boot camp style week-long course. You know, we've tried to get creative and really meet learners where they are, how they learn. And so, you know, we embarked on this micro-learning, 10-minute bite-sized chunks of information that we know that we can get out to folks via phone. Mom on the way, it's soccer practice, waiting for Johnny to finish up soccer or whatever it may be. Maybe it's dad at waiting in the car ballet, because that's me, ballet training or practice and those kind of things. And so I think it's an opportunity, for that. And when we look at learners in the 21st century, right, and using 21st century modern tools, how critical is that for learners today?
It's huge. Yeah, it's absolutely huge. And you talk about capturing different groups of learners as well. The Navy specifically is taking a look at multiple people from different stages of life. So you've got recent graduates, interns, new professionals, people that are relatively young, getting the technology kind of indoctrinated into their education. But you also have the flip side with, machinists, machinist mates, former sailors, Marines, soldiers that are able to get a hand on some of these micro-learning modules and some of the other training that's available to learn kind of like a second skill. So we're adding in all of this extra knowledge and all these experiences in addition to existing training, technology, information that they have about other processes, and it's kind of creating this hybrid workforce that's more equipped to solve some of these modern problems.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we still see today is that awareness vacuum that still occurs, right? And I think with additive, it's not so much an awareness vacuum of, yes, I can 3D print, but it is kind of, should I 3D print, right?
Right.
In the could versus should conversation,
yes,
quite often.
And then specifically on the Navy side again, I mean, additive is considered a relatively new technology. So kind of working with the training to adjust that mindset, right? It's not just a polymer machine that can print something kind of cute for your desk, right? It's no kidding end-use parts and specifically going from just polymers to metals, some of the hybrid technologies, some of the CNC aspects that get into it. It's all information that's continuing to evolve and helping how we support the warfighter.
Yeah, and I'll come back to this a little bit, because obviously, having your engagement and getting a chance to get to know you over the last several years, one of the big kind of pet peeves of mine always is, we're building this platform called AM Jobs, right? We want to highlight the people of the industry and where they came from, and how did they enter the industry, and what do they do all day? Who do they work for? What do they work on? What do they care about? What are their hobbies and interests? Get to know the people of the industry. And have folks look at that and say, wow, I see myself. I see this is an opportunity for me, and those kind of things. And I mean, you're sitting here as someone who works for Navy, right? As a civilian.
That's right.
And so, I've been here at America Makes for about 5 years, and I've often said, man, what a missed opportunity. Most folks don't realize that you can work for the DoD as a civilian. You don't have to enlist necessarily to do that. And though we have a lot of great folks that enlist and get trained, or get trained while they're enlisted, or separate and get trained. Can you talk a little bit about that part of your journey?
Sure. Yeah, so I mean, I have no military service whatsoever, so I went straight from college into the Department of the Navy, and with that, you kind of get thrown into situations with, hey, here's a problem set that's directly affecting the warfighter. We kind of need you to figure it out. And so additive at the time was something that was just one kind of tool that people were seemingly aware of, right? Not a big portion of what we were doing on a day-to-day basis. But as we continue to look at those things and bring in government civilians and bringing in contract support as well, which is a huge part of what we do, but also our sailors, Marines, soldiers that come in, we're bringing in all these different perspectives on how we're going to solve those problems. And it's, as a disruptive technology as additive is, it continues to evolve, and so we continue to get all those different perspectives and information that helps us solve those problems faster.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and looking forward to continued engagement with you. Like I said, truly blessed to have you. Call you a friend, but call you a mentor to so many, and obviously an opportunity to continue to volunteer and give back through America Makes, and it's really what makes our programs rich. Certainly is that voice and those kind of things just the same. So Hunter, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Appreciate you joining me on game day here at Rapid, and looking forward to what's next.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh.